Hey, y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders Movie Club.
Movie Club. Now, Dylan, well, first of all, I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Hey.
Hey.
I know you. First of all, we oftentimes reserve our movie club for Patreon, for patrons only.
It's true.
But this true crime documentary, I'm talking about Netflix's Unknown Number, the High School Catfish, has everybody talking. I mean, it is all over social media. Folks are floored thanks to a jaw-dropping revelation that no one saw coming.
It was a pretty good twist.
You think so?
I think so.
Dylan, let's get into it. So the new documentary centers on Beale City, Michigan. A teenager named Lauren Licari and her boyfriend Owen McKinney. Now this young couple starts receiving a flood of vulgar, threatening, harassing text messages. This starts in 2020 and then again in the fall of 2021.
Yeah, and the doc opens up with a simple statement, which kind of really sets the tone for the entire run of the show. All these texts you will see are 100% true from transcripts of investigators, and the texts along the way kind of just blow me away. It really does.
Well, now we are all aware, I think, that cyberbullying is a problem. It's been a problem, and it's definitely a problem for young people. Back in the day, you had a bully. They would maybe push you around, shove you in a locker, give you a little swirly in the toilet, something like that.
I hate getting swirlied.
Have you ever been swirly?
You think somebody picked my little big ass up?
Probably not.
No, I would have been the one handing out the swirlies if I was so inclined.
I got bullied, especially in middle school. Kids are vicious. So I can only imagine the bullying I received in person if they could have done it anonymously.
Yeah.
It would have been terrible. And a lot of times this type of thing leads to young people having depression, anxiety, their self-esteem plummets, and it can even result in these young people taking their own lives.
Oh, no. It's of course, bullying's been around for since the beginning of human existence, really, in some form or another. But in this day and age, it's almost like you can't escape it. You don't get a reprieve when you come home, or when you're amongst family and friends. It's like this because of the social media and the online presence of everyone, and everything spreads so quickly. And then you add in people's wanting to video fights and stuff like that. It's so ridiculous.
These messages, sometimes 50 a day, targeted not only the young couple, but it began spreading chaos, seeds of discontent, anger, frustration among their small high school class and out into the community, getting other parents involved, administrators.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those cases of the suspicion of who could be doing this, knowing intimate details and seemingly knowing everything that's going on, no matter how trivial. It makes people wonder who's doing it and start thinking about past problems I've maybe had with someone before, who doesn't like me, things like that. So it really created an atmosphere that, like you said, kind of drew a big chunk of the community into it.
Here's an example of a text.
Please.
Hi, Lauren. Owen is breaking up with you. He no longer likes you and hasn't liked you for a while. It's obvious he wants me.
Oh, God.
He don't want you. Na, 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 na. Remember that TikTok's viral video from like 5 years ago?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, it was always some really choice couples.
Because the couples that would take part in that were pretty rough.
Nobody wanted him.
No.
We promise.
Or you.
Other messages were even more obscene and sexually explicit, Dylan. I mean, I'm a vulgar woman, right? You can't call me a lady. I got a mouth like the potty, right? I cuss like a sailor. But some of these messages were so sexually explicit and just, I'll say it, fucked up, that it had me blushing. And I can't imagine being a very young person, high school, age, right?
14.
Teenager. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They're babies, right?
Yeah.
They're barely into their teens receiving these kinds of messages.
No, and it was almost like they had an element. They were sexual in nature sometimes, and just really outright mean other times, and just gross. There was also an element of being kind of gross.
Oh, I got some examples of these gross messages. Okay, here's one. We're both DTF, down to fuck.
That's right.
Right? He will be with me while your lonely, ugly ass is alone.
Damn.
It's lonely and alone in the same. Okay.
And ugly.
Cool. He wants sex, BJs, blowjobs, and making out. He don't want your sorry ass. Something about, there was another one referred to Lauren's teenage boyfriend's dick and fingers in my pussy and mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, these are kids. First of all, who speaks like that?
They call that PTM.
And who messages like that when you're 14 years old?
Yeah, I know.
I don't message like that, and I'm grown. You know what I mean?
No.
Mm-mm.
That's what I'm talking about. It's just, it's a lot. And what's funny is I think, unless they were leaving, which I know they left stuff out. I think most of the time the victims here, Owen, what's the little girl's name? I'm sorry. Lauren. We're just like, who is this? You know, what are you, who is this? Why are you doing this? Things like that. And they just keep getting this vitriol, this kind of, angry, mean, hurtful stuff back. That's got to quickly kind of wear on you as a young person.
Well, Lauren and Owen had dated for 2 years before these texts started, and they ultimately broke up, hoping that this would prevent the messages from continuing.
Right.
If we just break up, this person will leave us alone. But no such luck, because the unknown bully, texter, cyberbully, started to get even more aggressive despite the fact that they were no longer together. The bully sent messages that said things like, "Kill yourself now, bitch. His life would be better if you were dead." And this was a message sent when Lauren was 13.
That's crazy.
Another message said, "Dead, hashtag bang bang, hashtag suicide."
I mean, what do you even say to that? How do you even respond to something like that? You know what I mean?
At first, everyone was a suspect. Classmates, friends, even some school officials fell under scrutiny as this harassment escalated. As we mentioned, I mean, it kind of became a community issue. The case grew so intense, Dylan, that the FBI got involved in April of 2020. They actually had a cyber task force that tracked down this bully. They used cyber forensics. Yeah,
because the person doing it were, I guess they thought they were smart enough to not to go undetected, but they really weren't that many layers to uncover the footsteps. Once you get the proper authorities, calling, subpoenaing, how would you say that? Subpoenaing?
I don't know. Is that even a word?
It is now.
Subpoenaed.
Yeah, so that would subpoena the companies, the internet providers, things like that to get the records.
I'm surprised this went as far as getting the FBI involved in some ways, but I think when you consider the age of the victims and the amount of harassment, the number of messages that were coming in, I mean the suicide, implications alone, like kill yourself.
Right.
I mean, I think all of those things kind of were a good mix for the FBI to get involved, right? Because there's a couple different things going on there.
Well, yeah, because at one point I did say to you, wow, I wish they would put this much energy into maybe looking for missing people or some, maybe indigenous women or, any of these other groups that you hear that don't seem to get the proper amount of attention. But you were quick to point out that this went on for a very long time. Local authorities investigated it to the best of their abilities, and that it was, young teens involved And these, at the end of the day, these messages are very cruel, and pushing someone, bullying them, and then literally saying you should kill yourself. I mean, that's a lot. It really is.
It is a lot. Then there's a shocking twist in the case, Dylan. The anonymous texter was...
Drum roll.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wait, hold on.
That's a terrible drum roll. I don't have a drum roll sound.
Okay, I'll just put insert drum roll.
I can play like a tiny little flute. Like
Dude.
a little lyra.
Okay, that'll work.
Who is the anonymous texter, Dylan?
It's Lauren's mom.
Kendra Licari.
Oh my God, the one who's been helping, one of the key figures helping the investigation, close friends with Owen's mom, trying to figure out who's doing this to our kids. It fairly quickly tracks back to her once the FBI gets involved and gets warrants for records from, she was using some simple program
like
online.
VPNs or something?
Something like that. And I don't even think it was as sophisticated as a VPN maybe, but they very quickly, they saw this one recurring number and they tracked that down and boom, leads right back to Lauren's mom.
FBI liaison Bradley Peter discovered that the former basketball coach and PTA mom had been hiding behind these spoofing apps, tormenting her daughter for 22 months. And people were absolutely shocked because Kendra had always appeared to be like a really good mom, active, involved in her daughter's life.
And involved in the school,
community.
Like sports activities, things like that, a go-to kind of, team mom, if you will. And more than 17,000 texts.
Now, what I found really interesting, they include body cam footage in the documentary that captures the moment that police show up at the family's home and arrest Kendra and tell her, like, we have a search warrant, we're seizing all of your devices. This was in December of 2022.
Yeah, the jig is up.
Following her arrest on 2 counts of stalking a minor and 2 counts of communicating with another to commit a crime, she pled guilty to the 2 stalking counts. She was sentenced to up to 5 years in prison in 2023 before being released on parole last summer.
Damn.
So she's out again. Sean Licari, Lauren's dad, divorced Kendra in the aftermath and ended up winning full custody of Lauren, which I think is appropriate in this situation.
It's a no-brainer. Be like, do you have any evidence? Be like, well, hold on one second, Your Honor.
Now, what just absolutely cooked my goose in this doc is when they interview Kendra, and she says this, and this is a direct quote, Dylan, realistically, a lot of us probably have broken the law at some point or another and not gotten caught. I'm sure people drove drunk and haven't been caught. So she's comparing other people's crimes to what she did to her own child.
Me slow rolling through a stop sign because there's no one around. She's comparing that to what she did, what the suffering and pain she put her, her teen child through.
She also blamed her behavior on being raped at 17 and never fully processing that trauma.
Okay.
Led her to say these horrible things to her child.
Okay. Now, so what do you think?
She had another excuse as well, that this started because she thought she could get the real. Now she's like, I did send like 16,998 of those text messages, but the first 2 did come from someone else.
Yeah, the first few was not her, but then she took up the mantle of a cyber investigator and took over, telling her daughter that she had a flat ass and nobody wanted her for the next couple years, basically. So maybe that would stir up the nest and makes maybe the real cyberbully. The real cyberbully to kind of slip up. It's a method often used by investigators. They call it ringing the bell and see what happens.
She's like undercover.
Yeah, she's undercover.
She's the undercover mother.
And now this is really where, people always...
I'm sorry, but this woman is absolutely full of fucking shit. I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. She's obviously very manipulative and has a problem with lying. And all these excuses and reasons that she gives in the documentary, like she's somehow undercover, I'm like, that is such bullshit.
And this is where, as usual, especially Netflix docs that kind of they're good at putting one together that makes an impact and kind of blows up. This is where they get some criticism for allowing her a platforming her to let her give a bogus excuse like that and really give no follow-up questions.
You mean like Casey Anthony'd it?
No pushback, really. They're just really letting her say this BS, and I can't believe anyone believes what this woman's saying. And that they were criticized for that, and obviously, per usual, they were criticizing for leaving out big chunks of the story.
All right, Dylan, so can you fill us in on some of these big chunks of story? Because I'm unawares.
The basic...
I'm taking the story that I've seen on Netflix face value, so please.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's an article in The Cut, a lengthy article, that really explains a lot of this. And for the most part, if I will ask you a question, when they revealed to her daughter on police body cam, did you notice there wasn't really a strong reaction from her daughter?
Yes.
Not, oh my God, Mom, why?
Right.
This can't be true.
I guess I took that as like the daughter's still trying to, like maybe she's in shock.
Which could be true.
Right. Okay.
And the father, honestly, now that I think about it, seemed more pissed off about the fact that she had not been employed. She'd been lying to him about being employed. The cops are like, no, she doesn't work there. She got fired from the other job. He seemed to really be kind of keying in on that, not the, why the hell have you been torturing our daughter, right?
Well, I also think, of course, the documentarians are going to edit it to look a certain way.
Well, no, it's true.
Because he did seem really fucking mad. And he's even saying, like, you need to leave because I don't want to go to jail. We'll both be in jail.
Yeah, he's like, you need to leave before they leave.
Like, yeah.
Or something could happen. But basically, the gist of it is, the town already had people in the town, in the know, already had suspicions that it was her. Because people, including Owen's parents, had come to realize she seemingly had an unhealthy relationship, or no, obsession rather, for Owen.
The mom did.
Mom did. Yes. Gosh, weird. Okay, so she keeps showing up to Owen's games after her daughter breaks up with him, right? Painting her face. She's his number one fan. There's one time she even tried to go on a vacation with Owen and his family. And they were like, no, why would you go? That's weird. Like, just you? I mean, yeah.
You know, it's interesting. They did not mention any of that in the doc.
Yeah, I know.
But I had a feeling that possibly Mom did have some kind of sick interest in the young boy.
Well, yeah, and you have to take into effect, Owen started dating a couple of other girls after he broke up with Lauren, and they started receiving messages as well. So that right there told me that there's something more to it. It's not just hating or being jealous of your own daughter. Is actually almost like the problem was connected to Owen.
You know what's really sad about this, Dylan? Aside from the fact that a mother would do this to her child, to children, period, to minors, to their kids,
to anyone, but
right?
Yeah.
Is the aftermath of it, because Lauren, she goes on to say, like, she sees Owen in the hallway and stuff. They don't have any interactions. And Owen went on to say that he was really mad at Lauren and he didn't think he'd ever talk to her again in the future. So Mom ruined this friendship between the two young people.
Yeah, and that's totally messed up.
And it's, I understand, I guess, kind of his frustration, but to blame Lauren, it's not really her fault that her mom did this. I don't know. It's just such a sad situation, and I cannot wrap my head around it. Like, what kind of parent does this to their child?
No, it's disgusting behavior, and I just don't understand why you would ever do this. You should be protecting your children from people like that. So I still can't even fully understand
So, what were some of the other things that you learned from the article in the Cut?
Yeah, so there was some weird stuff going on, really. You know how hindsight's 2020, but even when this was happening, I would find it a bit odd. Like she would still go to the Owens basketball games or sports events, even after her daughter broke up with him, which you can be like, oh, she's just a school spirit mom or something like that, and just and he said, I think he said in the documentary she would try to cut his meat up for him if they were like out dinner together or having dinner.
Like he's a tiny child?
Well, that's not your kid, bud.
Well, no, but that's very weird.
No.
Because by the time a kid's 14, 15 years old, I think they can be responsible for their own meat. Right?
Well, she wanted to be responsible for Owen's meat. You heard it first here at Mountain Murders. She had a strange obsession with him. I think it's obvious.
That is very weird.
Gosh. Yeah, I don't know.
So like a secret crush.
A secret crush. And I think they really, in the documentary, I think you kind of wonder, but they certainly don't flesh that out or pursue that avenue with any type of questioning. But I mean, just the sexually explicit nature of, many of the texts.
Well, a lot of people have pointed out, and I think this is an important discussion to have. What if the roles were reversed and Kendra had been a dad sending these types of messages to his son's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because if this were a man performing the same actions as Kendra, I feel like they would have been nailed to the damn wall.
No, it's true, and I think the documentary wouldn't dare take a soft tone with that father, right? I think they would be hard-line, hard-nosed.
Oh, right.
And they'd be, there's no way.
In these cases, I do feel like there's female privilege, and I know a lot of folks don't like to recognize that in this world of, folks screaming about equality and whatnot, but if there was true equality among the genders, these female predators would be treated the same as men. And oftentimes we see when it's a female teacher, and especially if she's like an attractive female teacher, molesting a student, because let's be honest, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're molesters. Grooming
and engaging in some illicit relationship with an underage kid, a minor. I mean, that's disgusting. And yet, for some reason, these women seem to get a free pass, or it's that attitude of, oh, I wish she was my teacher. I mean, we've talked about this before.
It's disgusting.
On the pod, but I do feel like oftentimes in these cases, women get a slap on the wrist where a man's life would be ruined, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's what should happen if you're a creep. But oftentimes, like the male teacher gets, more time, gets more of a sentence, his life's ruined, whatever. And these female teachers almost kind of go on to be little mini celebrities or something. I think about that Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And it was so shocking what she did back in the 90s. We were very young when that happened, but I remember that being like a really big deal. But she almost became like a celebrity. Like she would appear in tabloids and would be on talk shows, and people were almost kind of like sympathetic to her situation.
Yeah, like they talk about her relationship and the problems she was having with her husband and how she was in a dark place.
Yeah, it's viewed through this very almost forgiving lens.
It's disgusting, and also what it does is it minimizes or it downplays male victims of this molesting, which is what it is. There's no way around it, and it almost pushes them to the side. And this happens. You see it happen in domestic situations. I've known people, I've kind of been on the other end of that in a way of, hey, this woman is doing these, dangerous, crazy things, and you'll have police kind of, like you're scared of them. They laugh at you. Right? They don't treat it with a seriousness like a woman can't kill a man. I think that Jody proved, Jody Aries proved otherwise on that, how dangerous that situation truly was. And I don't think anyone, including the victim there, realized it. But, this happens. And I really think it's sad because you have these male victims, young male victims, these kids. And I don't think, and if you look out into society, when you see on the internet, imagine being that victim and you see things like, "Oh, I wish I had teachers like that," or blah blah. "Oh, she's hot," and all. This is this discussion of the predator that did this to you, and they have feelings, and they get affected in all the same ways, or very similar ways for the most part, as the female victims in these cases. And it's really disgusting as a society.
Well, as we mentioned before, I mean, just simply giving Kendra a platform
right.
to tell her side of the story. If it were a male perpetrator, I just don't think they would do that.
No.
Another interesting part of the documentary is Kendra's husband. Is his name Sean? I believe it's Sean.
I think so.
Discussing finances and how Kendra had been responsible for the family's finances, paying bills. She ends up getting them in deep debt. They're evicted. All their personal belongings end up in a storage situation. She's not paying that. She's lying about finances. So one, I'm wondering, like, where's that money going that she's not using to pay bills?
It could be the 12-foot long table of alcohol
Booze?
that is seen in some scenes in the living room.
Well, I asked you about that. I was like, is that a table of booze? I mean, it looks like a fully stocked bar.
Dude, it looks like, and it didn't.
It's like an entire dining room table.
Yeah.
You know, probably 3-4 feet wide.
Yeah.
6 feet long.
Yeah, and the bottles are touching each other.
And it's the entire table is covered in alcohol.
Yeah, it looks like something you see at a college frat house. It just strikes me as kind of odd for adults that even if you're responsible. I've never been able to build alcohol up like that because I'm bad to drink everything in the house. But I've seen people that have, can make drinks with friends and keep stuff around and kind of build up this inventory. It's kind of cool. But just to have it displayed out like that and such an immense quantity seems to be a bit odd to me. And I think she admits to, having trouble with substances, alcohol and such. But even her husband thinks she's working or,
at Ferris State
or quit a job, but she was actually let go. So she
had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So it turns out she was let go from both of those around the same time. And so for like a 6-month to year period, she's been lying.
She's getting up and getting ready
about having a job.
I mean, who in the world does? I've heard of this before. Like you take some men can't admit that they've been fired or lost their job, and they kind of lie and fake out their family by getting up and getting ready in the morning with everyone like normal and going somewhere and
spending the day
or coming back home when everybody's left kind of thing. And I've always thought that's a very, very, very strange behavior. I mean, for you to go through that and not be able to just
that level of manipulation, betrayal, deceit.
Yeah.
Well,
I could not imagine. For one, I couldn't imagine you doing it to me either, like with the finances. Like, you pay all our bills. You keep everything in order.
I'm the Kendra.
Well, no. But if all of a sudden I came home and there was an eviction notice when I think everything's fine on our door, that would floor me. That would be
absolutely
devastating and such a betrayal from your partner. I mean, or not be able to say, hey, I lost my job, I got fired, or whatever. Even if you don't want to tell them the exact way it went down, which I could understand in some circumstances, but just it's a betrayal of trust amongst you and your partner.
I've seen some folks on the internet speculating, like, did she even have the job at the college that she claimed?
Oh, is that what that was? A college, Ferris
State?
Oh,
University?
okay.
Yeah. Some people were saying, did she even have that job? Like, there's speculation that she never even had the job, that she lied about getting the job, never actually had the job. But yeah, if you're in charge of the finances, it would be fairly easy maybe to cover up that you're not bringing in income.
Well, see, if I know you couldn't do this for long, because in exactly about 1 week, just a week.
Well, I think most people, working people,
a couple of weeks,
especially in this economy, are not able to skip bills because most people are living like paycheck to paycheck. Right. They've ran up credit cards. They've blown through savings because, you cannot afford to live nowadays.
Yeah.
Even with a dual income. I mean, it's just, we know what's happening in the world. So it would be really hard. Well, in our situation, it would be really difficult to lie to you about this stuff.
Yeah, I'd be like, what do you mean we don't have $60 in the bank to get through next week?
That's terrible.
What are you talking about? What do you mean we can't go get a Sunjoy from Chick-fil-A? What's going on here? What are we doing?
My brain would never allow me to not pay bills. Plus, I'm just wondering, like, where's that money going? What's she doing with that money besides paying these bills?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I mean, is she drinking that much? I mean, because alcohol, it can be, depending on what you're drinking, can be fairly expensive habit. I think oftentimes it gets downplayed. You hear about like, oh, cocaine, heroin will take all your money, but alcohol will too. At one point, I was drinking more than I should.
Well, it's really expensive to drink out. Like if you're drinking at a bar,
yeah,
it's a little more affordable to drink at home, but that adds up. I mean, if you're looking at what, $20 to $30 a bottle,
depending, it could be $50 a bottle.
Well, depending on, I'm just thinking, okay, so that's what, maybe a mid-level alcohol. You're buying that multiple times a week. I mean, that adds up after a while.
Well, I've done it with beer. You know, that 6-pack, that 12-pack, you know, every day, every other day.
That craft beer money, bud.
that gets it. Yeah, craft beer really elevated the beer market.
I'm just curious when, like, shitty beer got expensive. Because I've always been, like, a PBR girl. Like, I don't care to drink the shitty beer. That's my go-to if I'm having beer. And you once upon a time get a 6-pack of PBR for, like, $2.50.
Yeah.
And now PBR is, like, almost as much as a craft beer. It's crazy to me. Like, when did that become a thing?
Well, for one thing, I always it was like, with PBR. But I've had a few in the past year, you know, because it's
it's just a very beer.
It's a
if I'm thinking
it's not shitty.
Beer, it's a beer. It tastes like what beer is supposed to taste like.
It tastes like a beer. It makes you feel the next day exactly like I call it a lake beer, a maintenance beer, something you could go with your friends and
drink all day.
Drink all day at the lake without being totally, you know, trashed. Or you can stop drinking it and about an hour or two later, you're not, you know, that intoxicated anymore. Yeah, it's a solid beer. But no, it's popular now. It's kind of funny.
It is, yeah.
No, yeah. You can get PBR. Where's the slits?
My other favorite is National Bohemian, Natty Bo. It's a Maryland beer. Can't always find it in the South.
I've never seen that anywhere.
I've bought it before.
Okay.
They used to have it at PJ's, our beer store.
All right, so yes, that's a big question. Where was the money going, Kendra?
Where was the money going? And it's just so interesting to me because it seems like she is manipulative on multiple fronts. It's not just this instance with her daughter, but it seems like in many aspects of her life, she's lying, she's manipulating, she's trying to control the situation.
She's catfishing her husband on finances.
And she's not very good at it.
No. No, and
I'm also like, bro, if your wife gets you evicted and he's like speaking very like longingly about some of his items that I guess got when they got the storage building and then didn't pay it and those items get auctioned off or whatever.
Well, look,
you know, he's like, well, this is stuff from when I was a kid and tools for my job. And so I'm like, okay, so if that happens, then why are you going to continue to allow her to be in charge of the finances?
Dude, if I have to put my items, everything, in a rushed manner, all of a sudden into storage.
I'm paying that $100 storage unit
because of an eviction notice I didn't know was coming. You're done. You're done. You're not making the payments anymore.
No, I mean, if this were a child, you're not going to continue to let them do something when they get in trouble, right? You're not going to continue to let them have this responsibility or this kind of privilege, right? No. So why are you going to let your wife? I mean, I'm sorry, but you got to treat Kendra like she's a kid.
Be like, you ate all the cookies, but here's a new pack of cookies.
Can I just say she does not seem like the brightest?
Yeah.
She does not seem like the best and brightest. Kendra? No. I thought she was a little dumb.
Well, again, they allowed, many people have issue with them allowing her to kind of just give this bullshit, talking about she was trying to ferret out or investigate.
Or blame it on that she was assaulted when she was a teenager.
Yeah,
so somehow that makes you terrorize your child. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense, and that's a slap in the face to victims of assault and everything.
That are great parents.
That are great parents that have dealt with that
and that
thing.
would protect their children, would never do something like this.
Right. It's ridiculous. They didn't have any pushback on her bullshit excuses there at the very end. And, you know, a lot of people also wondered why she took part of it. Because, I mean, it's still not a great look, right?
No.
And the shocking reveal, which is really what they wanted.
Well, her cousin spoke at length about Kendra's personality, and she made it very clear that Kendra was like desperate for attention. She was like, if we were here having this interview, it looked like they were in a bar, Kendra would be over there dancing, trying to get attention.
Trying to get everybody to look at her.
To me. Yeah. So it sounds like she has an issue, like she needs attention. She's doing the interview because any attention is good. It's like, I mean, again, it's like a little kid, like that seeks attention through negative behavior, you know?
Well, no, I think this could explain why they kind of softballed her there at the end, because she was back and forth. She definitely waffled on being a part of it, but they really wanted her to be, obviously, for the big reveal. To have her in the beginning talking about, oh, we didn't know what was happening, which was totally fucking kind of weird to me. And they were like, it's going forward with or without you. Everyone else is on board. And then she decided, they're kind of like, we'll let you kind of say your piece here in the end of it.
I would have so much more respect for this woman if she would just own up to what she did, apologize, and not try to make these BS excuses.
No, she'd be like, look.
To explain the behavior. I'd just be like, I don't know why I did it. I'm a fucked up person. I apologize. You know?
Yeah, no, totally. If her tone had been that my daughter can never forgive me for this. I betrayed my husband. This whole thing is terrible. What I did to Owen is so wrong. And I don't know what, I mean, if you don't go so far as saying I was hot for Owen, which I think is the case.
Oh, so
seeing how she harassed even girls that after her daughter that Owen talked to and their families.
You said she would go to game, like even after Lauren and Owen broke up, she would continue to go to athletic and sporting events, like supporting him.
Face paint, go Owen, all that.
It's very weird.
It's kind of weird.
So weird.
You know,
I couldn't even get my parents to come to my events. Can't imagine like getting them to go to someone else's.
Yeah, well, I could imagine going to some of their kids' events.
Like I could even get my own parents to come watch me.
Oh my gosh! Well, I had a couple of years.
Look what I can do.
Couple of years of band. Band is tough. It's tough.
Oh, you were a band parent?
Yeah, I was a band parent there, and my son was really good. He was like second chair on the trumpet.
Oh, he played the trumpet.
Yeah.
All right.
Expensive ass trumpet. You know, went and got him the high dollar one, the nice one or whatever. I rented it. You know how that goes. Finally paid it off.
Well, yeah, but I think that's how it works for a lot of parents.
Well,
band
yeah,
kids.
no, it's a whole.
You rent an instrument.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's an industry.
Maybe it's rent to own or whatever. You pay payments on it because most people can't afford to drop like $5,000 on a trumpet, or a tuba or something.
And you know, you gotta go sit through the concerts, and
there's a lot of concerts.
Well, and you have to wait to see your child perform.
Then there's marching band. If they do marching band, then you have to go to all the games, and that's football and basketball season, right?
You know, that was a good way to get your kid a scholarship for a college band is to have them play, even decent at an obscure instrument, right? Everybody wants drums, you know, trumpet, the kind of flashy things, but when you get into the tuba, which is hard work.
If I played a xylophone.
Oboe. I mean, you got to think about the woodwinds are good. Clarinets.
A lira.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about instruments, really.
Be like, look, my son is like first chair on the harp, right?
Spoons.
It's a free ride, bro.
Yeah.
Free ride through college.
I knew a lot of folks who were in band. I had some friends in band, and I did know quite a few who went on to play in college, you know, play college band. But I remember it was like a big thing because you had like band concerts, and then if you were a member of like the jazz ensemble or the jazz concert band, it seemed, and there were like multiple different kinds of band you could be part of.
There
like
is.
Concert band, jazz band, marching bands, and then some people are involved in all of that.
Yeah.
So you were doing a lot of band concerts.
So I feel for any of the listeners listening right now has a kid in band. Hey, it's great. I know you love your kid, but I feel your pain when you're sitting through these
Man,
concerts.
so my kids have never really wanted to be involved in things. I guess they get that like whole Groucho Marx attitude from me that they don't ever want to be a member of something that would have them as a member.
Right.
Right. Like my daughter wasn't really into sport. She was so good at soccer, and she hated it.
Yeah, she's very athletic.
When she was young, like as little kids, and they're just running around out there. They don't know what the hell they're doing. She was really good at it. I mean, we're like, how the hell does she know how to play soccer? She's awesome, right? She hated it. We could not get her to play soccer. Dance. I mean, we tried multiple things, but she was never into any of those things. So by the time she's in high school, she's doing art, like art club. But other than that, she didn't really do events. My son doesn't either. But these parents who are involved in band and sports and multiple clubs, and they're always ushering their kids around, chauffeuring them. Parents have to go attend, 2 or 3 events a week,
prepare,
practices, whatever.
Finance it.
Those parents are the hero parents. Let's be honest, because I know we got some of y'all out there, and you're stretched so thin, but you do all this, you juggle, you manage to get your kids to the things they love. And y'all deserve a big pat on the back.
You really do.
It's so much work. And then you have to sit through all the stuff. And I know you love your kid, but come on. You can admit it. You don't like getting up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning to go to like a ball tournament.
Not every Saturday.
For 6-7 hours.
No.
I know that gets, your butt hurts. You probably don't have the most comfortable seating, It's expensive. So my hat's off to y'all.
They have to travel to the tournament. It's a lot of times regional, hour or 2, 3 away.
Yeah, travel ball.
And pay to get in.
Because I'm thinking like just Little League or, they play for the school. But then you get into the travel ball stuff too. Y'all are spending money. Your entire weekend is devoted to softball, football, whatever, basketball. Like I said, hats off to y'all.
Hats off to you, and all heroes do not wear capes.
Yeah, all you parents struggling through that choral concert.
It's true. All right. Oh, and one more little tidbit, because we got this.
Tidbit of Dillon.
This doc was nothing but tea, and I think that's kind of why people are like, "What?"
Yeah, we love some tea.
Can't look away. So apparently, they're in the town. It seemed to be a smaller town. They have big Halloween party amongst parents and, just a group of people that do it all the time.
Ooh, like the end of Hocus Pocus?
Yeah.
That big Halloween party?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, Dylan watched that yesterday, and you don't like Hocus Pocus? I mean, you were like, basically, you said, I'm tolerating this because I know you love it.
Well, honey, I've seen it like twice a year since I met you.
So?
From start to finish.
Well, we should watch it more than that because it's great.
It's a good movie, but I mean, come on. It's not even, what did I say? I said it's not even October yet.
Yeah. So?
But anyway, so they have this big Halloween party, and one of the parents dressed up as Kendra after all this came out, and she was convicted. Dressed up as her for Halloween. She wore a scarecrow costume with Kendra's mugshot, like tape and a mask.
Like she made a mask
yes.
of the mugshot?
Yes.
That's the level of trolling that I aspire to right there. I love it.
Okay. So I think we've said about all we can about Unknown Number.
Well, I don't know, Dylan, because watching this documentary stirred up some personal feelings for me.
Well, I was going to segue into that. I want you to kind of...
Because you continue to get these text messages where someone's like, you smell like fart. And they're anonymous. And you're like, who's sending these to me?
Well, no, I actually, on a serious note, I knew that you could draw parallels because people, your first thought's going to be, how can you do this to your own child? How can you be jealous, be hateful and mean, and tell your own child all these kinds of things? And honestly, I think you kind of can relate to that.
Well, look, I know I bring up my past a lot on the pod, and people are probably like, one, don't believe me because there's just so much weird shit, right? But I've had an interesting, colorful life, I'll admit. My parents, this is the stuff they've said to my face. Like, they don't need to text it. This is just like how they've spoken to me since I can remember. But I've actually had an experience where my parent, I'll just say my parent likes to get into a lot of arguments with folks on social media for some reason.
A drama addict.
You know that you've known of this.
No, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. So this person, my parent, loves to engage in these arguments, And they create fake profiles to like stalk people and bully them because they often get blocked
Right.
from people for sending messages.
And she'll just go get one of the other profiles and come back.
Yeah. Right.
Jesus.
Now, in about 2015 or 16, I had this person friend me on Facebook. And I mean, I say this person, it was not my parent. It was a random account.
Right.
It was a man. I didn't recognize the name. The profile picture was kind of odd. It looked like a really old picture from like the 80s or 90s that had been scanned. You know what I mean? It wasn't a digital. You can tell the clear difference.
Or like if you took a picture of a picture with your cell phone.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so I was like, okay, weird, right? I go ahead and accept the request. Back then when I was on Facebook, I would just, accept a friend requests. And it was because of my job. I, was a bit of a public figure, right? And so I had a name that was recognizable in my community. I was a really outspoken kind of person and writing on the radio, whatever. So a lot of times, and I was doing burlesque and derby. So, people would just randomly friend me all the time and be like, oh, well, it's because I saw you play derby or, whatever, right? Because look at me, I'm so famous.
She's regionally famous.
Yeah, I'm so cool. No, but I would just randomly accept friend requests from people because it was, it usually turned out to be something, right? Like networking or whatever.
And if not, just get rid of them. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I'd friended this person. I didn't recognize them, but didn't think anything about it. And then I had gone to this derby tournament with my team. And we had posed in front of, like when you go to an event, they'll have, it's almost like the little red carpet set up with the big screen behind that's got whatever the event is
Sponsors
or whatever.
and all that.
Yeah, and people like to take a picture in front of that. So I had a pose with like some folks in front of this sign and had posted this picture on Facebook. This random account, I'll just say the first name was Mark. I remember that. I actually know the whole name, but it was a guy, Mark, started commenting under it like, your hair looks like shit.
You said like instantly.
Yeah.
Right?
Because my hair was red at the time. And yeah, it was like this fire engine red. I color my hair a lot. But they were like, your hair looks like shit. And then immediately start sending me DMs telling me like, you're ugly. Your hair looks like shit. You should kill yourself.
Oh, and that Owen wanted to put his dong by my head.
And I think about my creamy fingers or whatever.
Yeah. Owen's got my fingers. He's creaming me right now.
Yes. Owen wants me, not you. Dylan is after me, not you, and I hadn't even met you yet, so that was kind of crazy.
It didn't make sense at the time.
Yeah, but now it's come full circle, so it makes sense to me. So anyway, I was just like, okay, great, you have a nice day, and like blocked this person. Like, what the fuck? It was confirmed to me because my parent and us have these multiple Facebook accounts that was actually one of the accounts they use. So it was my own parent catfishing me.
Somebody knew for a fact that was one of your
Parents.
quote unquote
Yeah.
parents
Yeah.
fake face. So it's definite. There's no question about it.
Well, it's funny. At the time, I had this deep suspicion that was the case because there was no one else in my life who would talk to me like that or be so angry with me or just hate me that much, right?
That's sad. That
I'm sure I've got haters out there. They like to leave 1-star reviews sometimes, whatever. But yeah, I kind of felt like I knew this is probably this person, but then it was confirmed.
That's messed up.
And I just had to laugh it off. And when the person told me, we just laughed because we're like, yeah.
Right. Gosh.
So the only thing I have gathered from this is my parent is probably watching this documentary because it's so popular and just sad and angry that they did not have access to a cell phone with texting capability back in the 90s.
Yeah, that she was sad that social media didn't exist back then, so she could have used it
against me.
Or that parent. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sex the parent. That parent could use it against you. And it's really, we're laughing, but it's kind of sad.
Well, it's just fucked
for
up.
Even back then.
Because why would you, why do you care so much that you take the steps to do this just to be an asshole?
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
When someone's no contact with you, but you take all these additional steps to have some kind of contact, even if it's leading to a situation where you're just going to get blocked again.
Right, but you got that one
But
for that 1 second.
But you like got to have that thrill of I've made contact. It's really strange.
No, look, and I know what it is. I've seen this not exactly like that, because that's really messed up. That when someone, even when it happened, you had a sneaking suspicion because that's the only person in your life who's ever been that vile to you. That's really
and I've told
sad.
you the story before,
yeah.
so it wasn't just like we were watching this and I said, "Hey," I mean, I'm pretty sure you've known this story for quite a while.
No, I've known the story, and honestly, we could do an episode on the fucked up things that either of your parents have ever done or said to you. No, really, it's fucked. It's messed up, and it's really not okay. But maybe we'll do that for patrons if we want to have like a what do they call that? A trauma dump.
We can have a therapy session.
Yeah, we'll have a trauma dump together behind the paywall there.
I just
at Patreon.
don't even know if people would believe it.
No, but some of it's I can't believe it
because some of it's so unbelievable, right?
But this is I've seen this obsession up close in a way with your own children about controlling, trying to even to this day trying to make them do exactly what you think
and they're an
want.
adult.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, you're still trying to exert some kind of control over them.
Yes, and it's very strange, and I think it ties back into, I said this before, narcissism. It's these extreme narcissists that see their children as an extension of themselves or just as simply as property or a possession and not an autonomous person.
Yeah.
And that's what it all goes back to that.
Was someone who's experienced this, there is a turning point in my childhood where I felt like I started to become my own person, have my own autonomy, have my own understanding and opinions.
It's called growing up.
Right. And that seemed to be a real turning point for when things really took a turn for the worst.
Right.
But then even before that, there were certain things that happened that maybe I was just too young to consider or recognize. But it definitely seems like when a child in this situation starts to become their own person and have their own ideas and thoughts, that's when the parent really like latches on and starts, like they just can't stand it.
They can't.
They don't want you to have your own thoughts and opinions and ideas. Yeah.
No, they can't allow that.
Which almost makes me feel like maybe this is what Lauren's mom was doing, because it seems like she was at a certain age where she's kind of doing her own thing, having her own life. She's got a boyfriend. Mom's not number one in her world anymore, and mom can't stand it. So she has to start this campaign of harassment so that, again, she's the top dog, the number one parent.
Well, look, it's very easy to...
she's inserting herself in the situation that she's creating.
Yeah.
She's able to like get attention from other parents. It's a big deal. She's kind of caught in the middle of it. And in the end, it's a situation she created for that purpose because I think she wanted that attention.
No, it's very easy. I think, here to wrap it up, we will go ahead and diagnose Kendra as a narcissist. And I think a lot of us can agree, anyone who's ever dealt with a person like this, which is probably highly likely. It seems to be fairly common situation.
Well, I know that term gets thrown around a lot.
I'm talking about the real narcissist.
But I know, but I'm saying I think that term does get thrown around a lot, but I also think that now that we have social media, people are more educated about mental health. They say that because they have lived with a person like this or they've experienced it, and they're like, wait, they meet all these standards. So even if that person in your life you think is a narcissist has never been diagnosed, I mean, it's pretty easy to do check marks and be like, well, hey, they got like 9 out of 10 of these qualities. So,
well, yeah, we can check them off here. We got control of her daughter in the situation and multiple other people. We have
the manipulation.
We have
putting on this front of like, I'm the best, I'm awesome.
The attention seeking behavior.
I'm super mom, I'm PTA, I'm the coach.
Right. And the willingness to fuck the finances up and betray her husband and not care how it affects him or makes him feel or how it affects her daughter or any of that. I mean, it's all there. It's all there. And this is the kind of destructive, crazy stuff.
Being interested in a very young boy who's interested in her daughter. Like she's jealous of her daughter. And
a number one trait of a full-blown mega narcissist is believing their own bullshit.
Yeah.
And I believe she believes that bullshit she spewed in the end about her reasoning.
She's convinced herself that's why she did it.
All right.
But she's a lying-ass hoe, we know.
All right, so here we are at the end of our episode on Unknown Caller Movie Club, out for everybody. And
unknown number, baby.
Unknown number. Oh, yes, unknown number. Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh, did you get another one of those weird text messages?
No, you quit sending me. They're not anonymous because it literally says wifey when it pops up.
No, they're anonymous.
Somebody spoofed your account.
Someone has stolen my identity.
Now, you spent the entire evening yesterday, trying to convince me that I smelled like poop. And I knew I didn't because I was clean. And I even at one point.
You were clean.
Yeah, but I went and showered again just in case maybe I missed something or I wasn't, and you said it again after I showered for like the second time that day in 10 hours. And I knew, I was fairly certain I didn't smell like poop, but I started wavering after a while.
Yeah, I'm not gaslighting you.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I'm always fucking with you. I actually admitted a plan that I had, like a prank to you. I was like, look, I've been thinking about doing this for a while, but so I'm going to tell you about it. When we karaoke at home, my plan was to sing, like, just pick this really terrible song and then just keep singing it every time it's my turn.
Oh, God.
To see how you would react. Like, because I feel like I know you and you would be like trying to be positive, and so you'd be like, baby, you're getting better every time or something like that.
Yeah, you're going to do this in public? Is this why you're practicing?
But then I'm wondering as well if eventually you would just be like, what the hell? Like, why do you keep singing the same song at home?
I'd say about the maybe fourth or fifth time I'd be like,
You
what are
think
we
so?
doing? Yeah, this is too much.
So if I do like Skyrockets in Flight, Afternoon Delight, the Starland vocal group or whatever, you're going to ask me why?
Yes, eventually.
I mean, this is just a day in the life of Dylan.
Yeah, see what I deal with?
Our marriage is very exciting.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
Completely. And if you enjoyed this movie club, you can find more episodes very similar to this at patreon.com/Mountain Murders Podcast.
He's not sure.
Is that right? That's right? You say it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Patreon.com/Mountain Murders Podcast.
That's perfect.
You can become a patron for a very, very small amount of money and get tons of extra content.
Content. You
Content.
get some content.
And more episodes like this. And a lot of other extra content.
You smell like poo.
And everything will be ad-free. So why not? So thank you for everyone listening. And yeah, what are you going to do?
I don't know, but I've recently learned that Owen is breaking up with me.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm really sad about it.
Yeah, he must be wanting to.
I guess that means tomorrow morning he's not going to meet me by my locker at school.
Yeah, he keeps coming to you, asking him to smell his fingers. It's weird.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's weird. That's what Owen's going to do tomorrow.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay, Dylan, we're going to wrap it up now.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.